I'm here with my good friend Ron. Just going to talk tattoos and life and see where it goes, and roll from there.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Reece. It's always beautiful to see you, mate.
Likewise.
And yeah, what a beautiful, wonderful creation you've made.
Yeah, it's for me. Because I'm surrounded by it all the time. I kind of forget about it, but I do walk around here some nights late at night and go, "How the fuck did this?"
Yeah.
And it's just the evolution of I start to make a bit more money, artists are booked or whatever. I'm like, all right, opportunity comes along. Okay, like this area, I can invest in it and see where it'll go and go from there.
No,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Because, as you said, old friend, I've known you since
Yeah. Long time.
20-something
Yep.
years. Like I met you at Brano's
Yep.
for Brano's studio,
Yep.
and Brano and I were mates. And Brano was one of the few tattooists in Australia that I was getting to tattoo me. And we became friends. We travelled the world together. We went to New Zealand together, and we went to America together. So and Brano, as you know, Brano was not a very close person to get close to. He just
He's hard. But at the same time, he was like a game changer and a leader in the industry.
yeah.
At that time, and but maybe to break the mold, he had to be that way as well.
And he was also one of the few shops that wasn't affiliated. So his attitude was, "This is my bread and butter."
Yeah.
I remember him saying it to different clubs.
Yep.
You might be able to come and burn my shop there, but I'll burn every club in the house down around.
Yeah. Well, my first day working for him, I'd come back from traveling through Europe and everything, and I got a job at Crossfire, which was called Crossfire because of the wars.
Yes.
I walked up to the shop and the front window smashed, and I stepped over all the broken glass, and I went, "Oh, good way to start work. Good day to start work today, is it?" And he goes, "Oh, you'll get used to it, mate."
He was a good human being.
Yep.
But he was a good human being.
Yeah.
Passed away with a horrible disease.
Yeah.
And as we're speaking right now, I have another friend who's dying. He could even be dead right now.
Wow.
I got a phone call this morning. They were at the hospital. They turned the machine off and he was taking his last breath. His motor neuron disease. And him and Paul are the only two people that I know that ever had it. But this guy had another 5 years, so he had a really good run. But Paul's was so quick.
Yeah.
It was just like, V and I went and seen him.
Yeah. Out of the house?
No, we went and seen him at the shop before and he said to me, "I've just been diagnosed with this MND. Remember that, huh?" And I'm like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't know, motor neuron disease." And I didn't know about it. I said, "Oh, yeah." I went and Googled it.
Yep.
I was like, whoa. Within a year, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just that quick. And then the last message I got from him, he said to me, "This effing disease has now taken my voice. I can't even talk to you, brother."
Yeah.
Then we went to the house and visited him, and it was quite sad, and it went really quickly. But I had a lot of time for Paul because he was a man of his word, incredible artist.
Yep.
He was a better tattooer than he was drawer, because it was really humbling for him, because he had to say to me, "Mate, I've got to get Tony to do the drawings." There's a lot of my stuff Paul put on me. Tony Ranger actually did the drawings.
Yeah.
He used to say to me, "Mate, we'll get him to draw it up because he's a better drawer than I am."
Yeah.
And at least he was humble enough and honest enough to say that.
Well, country boy from Griffith.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what he was, and he still was when he passed away.
Yeah.
A country boy from Griffin who'd done really well for himself. He was a very smart businessman too.
Yeah.
I remember when he took Tony on, and he was putting money away without Tony knowing.
Yep. Yeah. Wow.
Did you know that story?
No. But I know I got tattooed off Tony when I think I was 19, and he was apprenticing then.
Yep.
And then I got tattooed by Paul when I was 21. And I remember at the same time I bought some of Tony's design sheets.
Yep.
And I was just like, "I'll give you the money, Tony." He's like, No, give it to Paul. And then I found out years later that Paul was, looking after it, because even tattooers still today, it's easy come, easy go.
Brano was really sneaky. When Tony did his original apprenticeship with him, Paul said, that's XYZ, that's how many dollars you're getting.
Yep.
And what they did, him and Robin, because he was so good and he was bringing so much money to the shop, they were putting money aside for him without him knowing it. And it got to the point when he first ever, this is a story I got from Paul. He fell in love, he was getting engaged, and he wanted to buy a house. And Paul gave him X amount.
A deposit.
And there's your deposit on your house. That's your gift for what we've done. Because we went to America, Greg and I, and we took a bunch of sheets, Tony's sheets. And I can't remember how we took. We might have taken 50 sheets, 50 loads of sheets. And there might have been 8 sheets in a set.
Yeah.
And it was pretty incredible because there was Philip Lou's sheets there. There was, Rollo's sheets there. All these sheets there just got smashed.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted this young kid from Australia's grey work. It was like, who's this kid? It was like, they just smashed it. It was at Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They just smashed it. It was like out of control. You just couldn't believe it.
It was. Well, Tony had whether it be Dungeons and Dragons background or the comic influence, all that stuff, and it was so different to stereotypical tattoo stuff at the time.
And we used to say, I'm glad I don't have his dreams.
Yeah, with some dark stuff. But he's the most humble, quiet guy, Tony. But there's some, what is it? Still waters run deep.
That's it.
Very deep.
With mucky dragon, medieval dragon here that Tony drew up. And that's the funny story. The story, they did it in black and grey, Brano. And then I come back and said, I don't like it. Because I'm all coloured.
Yeah.
The only thing I've got black and grey is Jack Rudy.
Yep.
I come out and I said to Brano, mate, I love the tattoo, but he's like, you serious? I said, mate, it doesn't suit, it doesn't fit.
Yep.
And he did it in green. He did a green over it, a green with a real lot of shade and green and white. I turned it and he said, mate, we've just created new tattoos.
Oh.
And he started doing tattoos like that. He started doing the black and grey and then coming over the top and colouring.
Yep.
And it was like a real groundbreaking thing. I remember we did it and he was like really pissed off at first. And then he was like, when it was finished and it healed, he went, man, this is cool. This is a really good way.
That's the era of discovery and still learning and, hooking up with a good collector and good clients. You're willing to give people a chance. And because Paul's cream of the crop, it's going to come out good. Where one of the things I try and say to artists now is, maybe it's me just being nostalgic. Like I used to love someone passing something onto you because you felt like you'd attained a level of respect and you'd earned it. Where now it's just Google, Forum, Instagram, all this stuff. Everything's so instantaneous. But then the art of self-discovery, of working something else out yourself.
And at his age.
Yeah.
And he was so famous for his black and grey portraits and so famous for his black and grey work. And then when I started, and with me, he did a lot of colour on me.
Yep. Yeah.
It was like, and then with Philip Lou, and I got Philip to tattoo me, because Philip's famous for his giant Japanese pieces.
Yep.
And I said, I want Jesus. He's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
He says, I want Jesus. And he's like, man, I haven't done one of these since I was in Mexico, base.
Yeah.
And I had a little card. It was that big. Yeah. Them little religious cards.
Yeah.
And he said, have you got an idea what you want? I said, that. And that was the guy, for me, that completely changed my whole attitude towards tattooing. Because you've got to remember, I come from the stencil day.
Yep.
When they put a black stencil, as the stencil rubbed away, you had 6 fingers.
Yeah.
So the stencil was missing. I can't remember how many fingers I'm drawing on there, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And like Philip we were in a hotel room in Amsterdam, and Tintin was there, she was there, my ex-wife was there, and they'd consumed something that made them tired.
Yep.
And Philip and I were talking, and he goes, all right, brother, lay down.
Yeah.
Probably 10 o'clock at night by this time, we'd eaten. He just finished doing one on Poe.
After, yeah.
Snake on Poe's stomach. He just finished doing that snake on Poe.
Wow.
And he said, lay down, brother. He said, oh, just give me 1 minute. And he went and got a blue texter, a red texter, and a purple texter.
Yep.
I was laying down. I just had my arm like that. And he grabbed my arm. He did an oval.
Yep.
With the blue texter. Put 3 red lines, nose, eyes, and mouth.
Yep.
Got the purple texter, put the length of the hairs, and picked up the machine and tattooed me. Yeah. It was like...
Yeah. True artist, like child prodigy.
Yeah. It was like, where did that come from? I'd never had anyone tattooing me like that before, just nothing.
Well, I remember hearing a story when he was living in Goa with the family on the beach. had the Spalding and Rogers little flash catalogue. And Philip's job was to, on the grid system, enlarge things, like draw them bigger and smaller for the clients.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where he honed some of those skills.
Just freaked me out.
Yeah.
It was actually watching somebody who was naturally gifted and was given a gift and he was so humble about it.
Yeah.
And he was so peaceful.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot, Philip and I. We talked because of my past.
Yeah.
And my affliction.
Yeah.
With addictions. You know, he was really curious about drug addiction.
Yeah.
Had some issues in his own family.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, you know, you've got off it. And I go, yeah. And he goes, you can get off it? Yeah, yeah. And he talked about his dad, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, we became really, really good friends over a 24-hour period. All of a sudden, I'd never met the guy, and I'd heard of him, and I knew he was like one of the best tattooists in the world, and it was impossible to get tattooed by him.
Yeah.
He had no vacancies whatsoever.
Yeah.
But because we became friends, and he knew how passionate I was.
Yep.
And at that stage, I was being tattooed by everyone. I'd just been tattooed by Ed Hardy. Well, Rolo started it for me.
Yep.
Mike Malone.
Yep.
Ronnie Atkins introduced me to Mike Malone.
Because what were you doing then? You were getting your stuff redone by Ron or added on?
I was getting some stuff redone by Ron. So I had been tattooed for 19 years.
Yep.
I had a Jesus outline on my back that Rob had done.
Yep.
I had a couple of swallows on my chest, and I had butterflies. I had butterflies on my chest, and I had the In Memory of Mother on my arm. And Ronnie Atkins was just redoing the In Memory of Mother, and he said to me, "Oh, you should get a bodysuit." And I said to him, "I want a bodysuit." I said, "I collect people."
Yep.
I said, I'm not about getting a bodysuit and just getting courage. I collect artists. And I used to look at a lot of tattoo magazines because, you know, the world had changed. We had tattoo magazines, Skin and Ink was out.
Yep.
All that stuff. Australian Tattoo was out, you know, I was getting all of the Australian stuff. And Ronnie said, "Oh, I got a good mate of mine, Rolo." And I knew Rolo from his flash.
Yep.
Mike Malone. He said, "He's in Hawaii." And, you know, any excuse for me to go to Hawaii. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to Hawaii. He's the funniest man I've ever met, Mike Malone. He was so funny.
Yep.
He was he's just a comedian. You know, the story goes that his shop used to tattoo all the American sailors, and all the sailors from all around the world come to Hawaii. That's where they were based. And he'd be picture on the wall, the flash. They go, "Oh, that one up there's $20. Yeah, sit down." He'd do the outline and say, "All right, off you go." They go, "Well, what are the colours?" "Oh, no, there's another 20 for the colour."
Yeah.
And he was telling me one stage, they had a production line, one outlined, one shaded, one coloured. Like 3 different tattooists did the one tattoo, and you just move. Next guy'd sit down.
Yeah, different era. And when it's on, it's on.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going home early today.
Yeah, well, they work 24 hours a day. He told me that if the boats are in, all the sailors were getting tattooed before they went back out.
Yep.
They were getting tattooed, you know. And he said, we were talking, he said to me, actually, Ed Hardy's son apprenticed with Mike Malone after that. But he said to me, "Mate, have you ever heard of Ed Hardy?" I said, "No, I've seen some of his work. I know that he went to Japan and he trained over Japan." He said, "I can hook you up with Ed." I said, "What about Jack Rudy?"
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, Black and Grey, I don't know." He said, "Look, he's worth," because I was collecting artists.
Yeah.
He said, "He's worth talking to." So he rang Ed. It was really funny. And at that stage, Ed was having a art exhibition in San Francisco of painting.
Yep.
And he said to me, "You know, the dickhead thinks he can paint." He said, "He can't paint. He's not a bad tattooist, but he can't paint."
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And he's bagging this guy who's supposed to be one of the best in the world. And he's saying, you know, he's the best mates. And so I was really lucky because Rolo gave me the introduction.
Yeah.
So I went over and I seen Ed. Then I went and seen Jack Rudy and got tattooed by Jack. And Jack didn't start work till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Heard he's like the latest man on the planet.
Because he has different working times to everybody else, which is quite funny, you know. And you know me fairly well. I'm really
punctual,
and I'm on time, and I'm efficient, you know. Well, he was supposed to do my stomach, supposed to do a big tattoo on my stomach. After he did my leg, he did a wizard on my leg. And Rolo did a Japanese warrior on the other leg. And I went back to get the second one, and Jack was there entertaining a bunch of guys.
Yep.
And I was sitting there for 2.5 hours. And I got up and I said, "Later." He went, "What?" I said, "Later."
Yeah.
I said, No, I'm ready now." I said, "No, I'm not ready." I'm finished. I'm going home.
Moment's gone.
Yeah, I'm going home. And I got Paul Brenner
Yeah,
to
nice.
do the same tattoo on my stomach.
Yes.
You know, it's just a woman that turns into a dragon. And I got Brenner to do it. And, and then I go back to Greg James's shop in Sunset Strip, and Greg and Jack really been mates, because, you know, they all get, they're
Yep.
mates. For that,
From that era,
the 6-1, everyone knew each other, you know.
Yep.
And Mike Malone's the only one that I really missed out on, you know.
Yep.
Not Mike Malone, the Irish guy.
Mark Mahoney.
Mark Mahoney.
Yep.
I'm really sorry I never got a tattoo
Yep.
from Mark, because he's a lovely human being. He's a good guy. Good tattoo.
And the way his career's gone now, like films,
Oh, yeah.
interior design for hotels in Ibiza. Like,
Yeah, he's gone out of control. I spoke to him a
Yeah.
few months ago.
yeah,
I spoke to him a few months ago. I rang him a few months ago.
yeah.
I want to do a podcast with him. I
Oh,
want to
mate.
come on my show and do a podcast.
Yeah. Well,
Because he's really cool. He's a cool
Yep.
guy. And so what we did, we went back to LA, and Greg threw a pair of sunglasses on his with it. And we took a photo, because those days there was no photos, all that shit.
Yeah.
We took a photo and we sent it to Jake in my mail. He said, I had to touch up that tattoo.
yeah.
And we said, the next time we see him at a tattoo convention, he was like, an asshole.
But yeah, that was the era. All the pranking,
Yeah.
all the wind ups.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was all the stuff. And the reality was, Greg James did fix Ed Hardy's tattoo.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually, shit that missed up, and some of the lines were really,
Yep.
you know, because Ed was entertaining some Japanese superstar that was there on the day.
Yeah. Right.
The guy that, I can't remember his name now, the guy that's flash was that Ed put on my leg
Yep.
was a really nice Japanese guy, and he had his book there, his flash book.
Yep.
And we picked the axe murder out of the book,
Yep.
and Ed turned that on my leg, you know.
Yeah.
And then it started, it was like an obsession that just hit me so hard that I,
What was the time frame roughly? Like how many years?
2.5 years.
Fucking wow.
2.5
Wait.
years. Yeah, full
You
body
must
suit.
have been constantly healing.
Full bodysuit, 2.5
Yeah.
years. And there was no numbing cream. As I said, we're going to the
Yep.
Crow. We're going to the
JD Crow.
JD
Yep.
Crow show.
Tattooed too. Oh,
Yeah, the tattoo too. Was that the one?
no, that's a Sydney one. The other one's hanging it on.
Yeah, the JD Crow tour. I can't remember what year it was now. 95. And we get ready for it anyway.
Yep.
Greg said, you're going to have to just sit. You know, we're just going to have to do it. And he did 27 hours in 3 days. He did a giant snake that goes through my whole leg, and it
Yep.
ties in everyone else's tattoos.
Yep.
And it finishes up in it. When I went to the show, everyone was like just blown away. I still remember.
But also back then, you know, it's still as good as it was done back then. But back then, the tattooing was different. Now there's a lot of skin gaps. That's like wall to wall color.
Yeah, we don't have skin gaps.
Yeah.
We don't have.
Yeah.
I don't have a square inch. Not one square inch. You know?
Yeah.
Pope did
Yeah.
this armpit, and I love Pope Sala. He's a really good human being. He's a good person, and he did this armpit, and he did Ronnie Black and Grey with a big skull, and a guy called Michael Lewis did the other armpit. I did them on the same day because I knew that I was going to have to sit with my arms up over my head.
Makes sense.
So what I did, I said, okay, I'm getting them both done today.
Yep.
I'll go back to the hotel room. I'll just sit with my arms above my head.
You obviously had a helper. Obviously had a helper.
Yeah, I had the ex-wife, yeah.
Yeah.
And because I'd been so obsessed with tattooing, I went and studied what the Yakuza used to do. After they got tattooed, they'd have a boiling hot shower.
Yep.
And wash all the Vaseline,
Yep.
we use the Vaseline, and all the paper,
Pushing it all in.
wash everything away,
Yep.
and open up all your pores, then have an ice bath
Yeah, right.
straight away.
Yep.
Straight away. And if I got tattooed today, I'd go and do it again right now. I swear by it. They reckon it seals the colour.
Yep.
That's what they reckon the Japanese used to keep the colouring by doing it that way.
Yep.
So I'd go and have this really hot shower, scrub it all out.
Yep.
You know, it sounds like it's painful, it's not. You wash it all out. Then I'd put ice packs all over, whatever the tattoo, an ice pack. I'd have an ice shower, an ice bath,
Yep.
and then ice pack it. So, you know, I'd do that every time. We got that league finished. We went to JD Crow. We won best league.
Yep.
It was that simple. It was really that simple. It was like, and every single person there, like there was Mark Mahoney was one of the judges, and he was talking about, and I like, as I said, Mark Mahoney said to me, he said, Greg James is one of the best coloured tattooists in the world. He said he packs it
Yep.
like no one else. He said the way he lays the ink down, he said I don't believe anyone's better than him.
Yep.
You know, that was him coming.
Yeah.
Mark, he just said, you know, that man, he said, because Greg uses a 3 flat, and it's open like that.
Yeah, but Greg would have pioneered so many different needle techniques and mixed his own pigments,
He did. Yeah.
tuned his own machine. And for whoever's listening is not familiar with Greg James, to make the dollar drop or whatever it is, like he tattooed Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, all these sort of.
He went on tour. The Motley Crue. The Motley Crue took him on, put him on 3,000 a week.
Yep.
To go on tour with them. Well, he tattooed them. You know?
Nice.
He tattooed Charlie Sheen. You know, that's how I met Charlie Sheen.
Was it funny what story with Charlie Sheen or said that?
He gave Greg a Rolex watch.
Yeah.
Just took off a golden Rolex and gave him his tip. And go to Greg's house, he's all, you know, those moving things that click things. Yep. Often. Charlie was a very generous human man. But he'd get a tattoo, honestly, 2 inches square.
Yep.
It would take 5 hours to tattoo him because he'd be full of some sort of concoction of chemicals, wrestling vodka. We'd have to close the shop down.
With an entourage?
With an entourage.
Yeah.
Then he'd say to the bodyguard, this is a true story, he'd say to the bodyguard, go ahead and sit in the car, I'll get Ronnie to slap you up. And had some big negro guy, you know, 140 kilos, and he'd be like, go and sit in the car, and then he'd give me his credit card. Go and get 4,000 out of the bank, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he'd look at me and he'd say, let's go to Heidi Fleiss's, you know, to the brothel. And I say, mate, my wife coming in from Miami in 4 hours. He that's 4 hours. He was just completely out of control. But Greg tattooed him. He tattooed most of the people. David Carradine, he tattooed David Carradine.
Yeah.
Because Greg had a back room.
At Sunset Strip. Yep.
That's what he used to do, mate. And the toilet was out the front in the waiting room.
Right.
Well, David Carradine's getting a tattoo on his ass, completely naked, gets up, walks straight through the shop and walks out with the tattoo. Now, it can only happen like that. Yeah. There's all these women sort of standing there like this, David.
Thankfully, there were no phones back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you imagine that if there was phones? So, yeah, we had a really good time. We was really lucky, and I travelled the world. I got to meet a lot of really, really, really nice people. But I also had some really good Australian friends too. There's Trevor McStay, you know, who I think's one of the
he's one of my biggest mentors.
He's one of the finest tattooists in Australia. You know, like, you know, Tony Cohen tattooed my ribs, which, you know, at the time, you know, it was really funny because Tony was like, well, you better leave some skin for me, you little shit, and everything, you know. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not, I don't want a skull, you know. Yeah, what do you want? And I wanted a fantasy. Yeah. And he did a big Boris, ribs, you know. And we have a standing joke about it, you know. It was always like, you know, you just want this fancy bullshit to wear. And I said, mate, that's what I want. My body. Yeah, that's what I want, you know. And then I got Mario Barth. That's a good story. The Mario Barth story.
Yeah, the big head.
Yeah. Braddo.
Yep.
Dwayne Cash and I
are
in Nashville, Tennessee for a convention.
Yep.
And Mario's there. And I said to Mario, I'd really like you to do my ribs.
Yep.
And he's Austrian. At the convention.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I've got to go back to Australia.
Yep.
Can you handle pain? I said, don't worry to find out. Okay. He said, we start 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep.
We start here. And he was another one that just drew it straight on with a pen.
Yeah, right.
Just got the Texacolor out and just drew, you know, out of his head, like, just drew that thing. And he started, I think it was with a 23 Magnum. The first line was sideways, just like, and I just think, oh my God, this is,
here we go.
It's going to be a big day.
Yeah.
We finished at 8 p.m. that night. So he did an 8-hour sitting with this Magnum. And in the end, Dwayne Casualty, in the end, I couldn't hold my arm up anymore. So Braddo and Dwayne had turns and keep my arm up because I was laying on a stretcher, the timber.
Like no massage table.
No massage table. It was just a bench with a towel on it. And there was blood. Mario Barth had blood all over his
splattered everywhere.
His pants just looked like did an operation. It was blood all over him, you know. But we smashed it in the end. The show had closed down. People closing up their stalls. Mario was still smashing at the tattoo, you know. And he said to me after we finished, he goes, you can handle pain. Yeah.
I would have gone in shock after about an hour.
Yeah. I'd never do it again. I wouldn't recommend it, but
in the moment,
you want something bad enough, you'll get it, you know. And I had a couple of sessions like that. I did one in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I had Freddie Corbin, Timothy Hoyer.
So were your forearms like the last week's where to go?
Yeah. Last weeks to go were from Reese.
Hands, yes.
Reese Gordon was the last bit. Because I was old school. I was a criminal.
Yeah.
And criminals didn't like tattoos past your elbows because you still wear a suit and no one knew you got tattoos.
And you were like identifiable.
You were identifiable and you stood out in the crowd, you know. I could still walk through customs. I could still go places no one knew I had tattoos.
Yeah.
I had choices of
Yep.
when I let people see my tattoos.
I think people now don't understand what it was like that then. Like you more than me, I've definitely experienced discrimination because of tattoos. Like, when I was 18, I had half sleeves, and the local guy boss in the milk bar had seen me growing up from 6 years of age, buying mum packets of cigarettes, bread, and milk, all of a sudden saw the tattoos, and I was scummed.
Yeah.
You couldn't even, to get a bank account, you would hide things.
Exactly.
To go for a job, you would hide things. You wouldn't even say you were a tattoo artist.
If the cops see a tattoo, they pulled you over.
Yep. I think it used to be one for one for stupidity, 2 for military, 3 was suspicion. And
Yeah. And when I grew up, the only people that had tattoos were criminals.
Yep. Yeah.
And soldiers, like
Yep.
armed forces. People that took risks had tattoos.
Yep.
Whether it was the cops, just
Yeah, you're on the outskirts.
yeah. It was the risk takers,
Yep.
And now tattoos used to basically were, fuck you.
Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah, don't come too close. Yeah.
And and as I said, I had all my tattoos completely. Like nothing past my arms.
Yeah.
All the rest of my body was finished.
Yeah.
And was in Amsterdam, and I'd made that decision. That I thought I'd given up crime. I thought I'd retired.
Yep.
I thought I'd retired, and I got my forearm smashed in one 36 hours.
Yep.
And we got them all done. As I said, Freddie Corbin did that one there.
Yep.
And then see, my forearms are for my mum.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. People say to me, "Oh, tattoos don't mean anything." Well, to me, I'm different. They do. Every tattoo I've got is significant for a reason. My mum passed away when I was 19. My first tattoo was in memory of mother. That was Bobby Woods.
Yep.
He did that. That was my first tattoo ever.
Amazing.
And then I got a peacock over here and a hooker. I wish I'd never got them covered up now. Ronnie Ackers taught me that. And so I already knew my arms were for my mum. That's how you pray. I'm not a religious person. That's why I got Jesus there, an angel there, Virgin Mary there, and the Rock of Ages there. That's how you pray. That was. It was always. I have 2 angels on the back of my shoulders for my twin daughters. I have another angel over here for Raven, for my 26-year-old daughter. Plus the one on my forehead for Chevy. I've run out of room. But so all my tattoos were actually significant to me. The axe murder was a reason. You know what I mean?
Yep.
My legs are all one side of my legs is all the Japanese stuff with the warriors fighting, and this side's a lot more feminine with the dragons and the girl. Yep. And it's a lot softer. And the wizard, from Jack Rudy. So the left-hand side was my feminine side, the right side's the masculine side.
Yeah.
And we always have this battle, and it's like the black wolf and the white wolf. You're always going to have this battle between good and bad, And then, cut a long story short, I just got fully covered, and I actually went into like a depression.
Yep.
I'd walk into a studio.
Yep.
And I'd smell the green soap. And I'd get anxious and I'd feel sick. I had run out of room.
And after such a concentrated experience in those couple of years, like you're probably in a tattoo shop at least every week.
Yeah.
If not getting tattooed, visiting or whatever, because they're friendships and travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never go to the Gold Coast without going hanging out with Breno and going out for dinner. Yeah, we go to the dinner. I go to America. I'm Greg James. And I used to stay at Greg James's house. He's the best man at one of my weddings.
Yep.
Like we'd become friends, Even today, if I ring Freddie Corbin, hey man, how you doing? It doesn't matter who it is I speak to, any of us like, as I said, I rang Mark Mahoney the other week. What's doing, man? What's happening? And people are just, it was a really close family. It was a really tight knit. Everybody knew everybody. Jorgo, and from Trevor's mate, from Austria. It was the Austrian.
Oh, no, Henny. It's Henny,
we were at Japan together, and it was just
because you were at that Tokyo convention.
Exactly,
Yeah, I was living in London at the time, around 2000.
Yeah, I got tattooed by Horiyoshi.
Yep.
Did the poke of the neck, and
they
had all the cameras there because I'm a white guy. Not many white guys just have the full suit.
No, not at all.
And they went right on with it. They gave me a what do you call it, kimono.
Yep.
And they took me to all the clubs, and took me to the restaurants, and it was really funny because we're at the nightclub, one of their own, and it was a really funny story because there's 2 Japanese masters over there. One's a straight guy and one's the gangster.
Yep.
And I'm with the gangster guy because that's who I sort of.
Yeah.
magnetically got attracted to.
Yes.
And they're like,
The power of attraction.
come out the back, come out the back. They're all out there. They got their geishas, they got all their girls there. And one of the guys there has got no legs. Well, the story goes, as the brother of Hayatoshi. I get mixed up the two of them. The gangster one, she's brother. And he's lost both his legs. He smashed his Ferrari about 2 years before. So he's got no legs from his knees down. Yeah, lovely guy. Yeah, darky little muscly guy. He's got all the geisha girls there, and he says to me, "Oh, you're full suit."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Everything." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Everything," you know.
Yeah.
And they go, and I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Show me." Like that. He's trying to embarrass me.
Yeah.
I said, "1 minute. You full suit?" He goes, "Yeah." I say, "Everything?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You show me." He goes, "No, me Japanese." No, the guy, the gila laughed, and that straight away made him become friends with me.
Yeah.
Like, then after that, my money. They told me, "Your money's no good in this country."
Yeah. Wow.
I wasn't allowed to spend a penny.
Yeah.
We went to a nightclub that night. And he was driving a big pink Cadillac. It was so funny. Well, he wasn't driving. One of his drivers. We went to their nightclub.
Yeah.
And every time I tried, we buy drinks. You buy a drink, then I buy you a drink. And every time I'd go to buy a drink, I'd say, "What's he drinking?" "He's not thirsty."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd have another drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say, "No, your money's not good in this country."
Yeah. And I imagine even if you tried to go to the toilet and then sneak to the bar and get one, not happening.
They wouldn't have taken it off me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have taken it. It was just, they just treated you so respectful.
Yeah.
They said, "You're a guest."
That's the thing as well. Like, Japan is still, as modern as progressive it is, it's still very steeped in tradition.
Yeah. And
It's a beautiful thing to experience.
I went to a sauna bath. I hadn't experienced that big one before, where they got big signs on the walls, "No tattooed people allowed."
Yeah.
But they took me to one. It was quite funny, and I said to the young guy that was at that counter, they give you your towels and dressing gown and that. And I said, "It's okay for me to come in." It had a big sign, "No drunkard or tattooed people allowed."
Yep.
And I said, "It's okay if I come in." He goes, "You're not drunk." And like all of a sudden, his vision had gone, like, "You're not drunk." And just, drunkard, tattooed people allowed. "You're not drunk."
Yeah.
And they let me in. It's quite funny. I loved it over there. Like, this is all because of tattooing.
Yeah.
I just got so many doors opened around the world, and I met so many people, and it was a family. It was really was a family. It was a really tight community. Carrie Barber at the time, she was the greatest female tattooist that I think.
Yep.
That was around at the time.
100%. One of the great, and one of the leaders, like, pioneered for modern day female.
Yeah, mate, she really did, and she was lovely. And I met her at Disneyland.
Wow.
I was taking my kids through Disneyland.
Yeah.
If she's seen some of my tattoos, she goes, "Oh, really nice tattoos." I go, "Yeah, She goes, "I'm a tattooist. I didn't even know her."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, really?" She goes, "You have a tattoo studio in Anaheim." I said, "What's your name?" She gave me a name, and I rang Greg Jones. She said,
Yeah.
"What's your like?" He said, "Mate, she's really good."
Yeah, cool.
And she had a guy there called Paul Black.
That's right. Yep.
He did a tattoo on my leg. I still love it today.
Yep.
It was a futuristic girl.
Yep.
And he did this fur coat on, like a bear skin or something, and the hairs, and still today, it's one of my favourite tattoos. When I look at it, and she's 30-something years old, and I look at it, I think, wow.
Well, that time as well, those key people that were like Greg James, Carrie Barber, Paul, you just mentioned, Paul Braniff, they were all, this is like pre-internet really. They trading emails, people who travel around the world, they were pushing the envelope. And they would do, like, now artists are so exposed to so many different forms of inspiration.
Yeah.
iPad, Netflix, fucking CGI, like Pirates of the Caribbean. They've got so many things to draw in inspiration from, which is amazing. But these were the pioneers that pushed it to that next level.
We used to have to fax things.
Yeah.
Oh, can you get someone to fax me over that picture of that flash, and it'd be black and white. They'd put on the Xerox up, and then fax it across. They'd be middle of all to be all shitty. They got the idea,
Yeah.
And the tattoo magazines were starting to become really popular.
Yeah.
I still, as I said, I've got some home I'll bring down.
Yeah, you've been like going to the news agents like once a month. Oh, are they here yet? Are they here yet?
Yeah, I'd hang out for it. I knew what day they'd come in.
Yeah.
And I knew, Skin and Inks in this week.
Yeah.
Australian tattoo was always
Yep.
one of my favourites because I was usually in them.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, here you go, it'd be,
And you went to New Zealand as well?
yeah, that was a funny
Yep.
trip. That was a funny trip. Brano and I went to New Zealand.
Yep.
And I was nearly finished at that stage. My bodysuit was nearly finished.
Yep.
And we were just going to go best overall. That was all I was interested in,
Yep.
best overall. I was going to go best overall.
Well, let's not muck around.
Yeah. And someone in their wisdom said, no, we're not running it like that this year. What we're going to do, you have to go in every category,
Right.
and whoever wins the most categories
Yep.
is going to be best overall.
Yep.
And Brad, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Australian Tattoo Magazine's write-up was, I guess Ron Isherwood had to pay excessive baggage. So I won something like 6 categories.
Wow.
I won the best overall, best leg, best arm, best
Yeah.
neck, best colour, best small black.
Wow.
Yeah. And Brad was like, well, we told you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gave you a chance.
Yeah, we just wanted to go in best overall. But no, you just wanted to run. And that's why them little green
Yep.
thing I thought, go, yeah, I stomach small over, yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, so we did. I had to bring home all these bloody made out of greenstone statues. It was quite funny, but yeah, that was the write-up in the Australian magazine. I guess Ron had to pay excess
Yep.
baggage coming over. You know, I think someone blew it, that one.
Yep.
But the funny story is that not many people know about is when I first started competing in shows, they wouldn't let me compete in Australia
Hey.
because I was tattooed by overseas artists, and it was quite political.
Old PTAA politics.
Old PTA politics. Now, the guy that used to work for Tony Cohen, he was one of the ex-bikers, the big beard,
Joel.
Joel.
Yep.
We was at the Lone Wolf show out of Bringelly.
Oh, yeah. The Sydney Tattoo Show.
Exactly.
Yep.
City Tattoo Show. And one of the guys said, oh, he can't compete. He's got shit from all over the world. It's not fair. It's not. And Joel, Joel was pretty rough around the edge. He said,
Yep.
fucking kidding, mate.
Yeah.
What are you, a pussy? I said, a tattoo's a tattoo, He said, he's compete.
He's an Aussie too.
He's a Aussie, he's competing. He said, Ronnie Atkins was here when he tattooed him.
Yep.
Paul Branno's tattooed him.
Yep.
Tony Cohen's tattooed
Yep.
him. What, they're not Aussies?
Yep. I'm sure Greg James tattooed you when he was in Australia too.
Yeah, at my house, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and sort of, Joel was the one who actually opened the door for me to start competing in tattoo comps in Australia.
Amazing.
Because, yeah, they just wouldn't let me compete. I remember walking to a show, which was, I think was wrong.
Yep.
I walked into a show once down South Coast somewhere. As soon as they seen me, all the other guys that were full-bodied got the shits. I'm fucking no use even going in this.
Yeah.
And the guy that was running the show said,
Yep.
Ron, look, I don't want to embarrass you, mate. He said, you're already winning best overall.
Yeah.
Will you be a judge?
Yeah.
Very,
Political.
very political.
Yeah.
You've already won best overall.
Yeah.
We're not even going to have the competition. We've taken that off the rack.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
will you be one of the judges for us?
We'll give this to you in the car park.
Yeah. It's like, and I remember coming back to Brown saying, mate, they made me a judge. He said, you're not a tattooist. I said, I know. I said, I was really uncomfortable. And I was really uncomfortable with it. It was like, but the other people were complaining that.
Yeah, I think that's like, mate, there's still trophy hunters now like that, or they were trying to control it.
Yeah.
But man, the way I see it, you're a goodwill ambassador for tattooing.
Yeah.
You're showing amazing artwork. You should be able to be put up there. And, if your nose gets out of joint, maybe that's a good thing, because you maybe got to lift your game or learn something new or
Put some thought into your tattoo.
Yeah. But that's like back to, those guys pushing the boundaries. Also, at that time, I try and say to some of the younger people in the industry, they didn't have to. They could have just had the signed tattoo and everyone was pretty much making the same money.
Yeah.
But they went the extra mile. They went home and did the homework. They fucked around with pigments, fucked around with needles and machines. So they are the ones that really set the standard for today.
And all of them mixed their own ink.
Yep.
None of them bought pre-ink.
Yep.
None of them bought
Yep.
pre-mixed ink.
Yeah.
I remember seeing I'd be with Greg, at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, he'd get a bit quiet, start making needles.
Yep.
Start soldering needles up, like he's the guy that's booked out 18 months, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, couldn't even get in the frigging door to see him.
Yep.
Making up his own needles. He never had anyone make his own.
Well, you had to. That was your part of your quality control.
That's exactly right. And Greg said, I've tried getting, apprentices to make me needles, and they're not right. He said, all my nerves have got to be perfect. They've got to be spread that far. They've got to be that deep, and they've got to be that, But yeah, as far as laying down tattoos, I think he's the most gentle tattooist I've ever been tattooed by.
What?
It's the truth. I think he was the most gentle tattooist I've been tattooed by. His pigment laydown was really, 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 really how I show us. I got tattoos that just stayed so long that he's done, But yeah, I think I was really lucky. I was in a golden era.
Yep.
Of people. I was really sad. I said to a young girl the other day, she's a tattooist.
Yep.
I was in Melbourne. I was down in Melbourne at a fundraiser, and she said, "Oh, I'm a tattooist."
Yeah.
My first question is, who are your inspiration?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Instagram.
Who are your inspirations?
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, I had another one in Queensland a couple of years ago. I was tattooing a mate of mine doing black and grey work. And I went to see my mate at the studio, and this guy's.
Yeah.
I said, you know who Jack Rudy is? No. I said, do you know who Paul Braniff is? I said, no.
It's in your own
I
backyard.
said, you know Teddy Ranger? No. I just know my work. And I thought, oh my God, that's really, really sad that not to know the history
Yep.
of what your trade is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's.
I think it's where it's becoming diluted. And from, I'm just over 30 years deep in it. And when I began, I had to know all this stuff. But also, if I started getting a big head, I don't want to know that, mate. I'd be brought into line pretty quick and schooled. But now sometimes I talk at tattoo conventions about history, and I say, I don't expect you to have the obsession I do.
Yeah.
But at least in your local area, you should know who came before you, because you're going to meet someone. Did Shaky Bill do that? Did Nugget do that? Did Brano do that?
Exactly.
I said, because otherwise it's like picking up a guitar and going, who's Jimi Hendrix? You actually look like a bit of a dickhead.
The sad part is that I used to be able to just see a tattoo and I knew exactly who tattooed it.
Yep. Totally.
I'd still say, oh, that's a Trevor McStay tattoo.
Yep.
Oh, that's a Brano tattoo.
Yep.
Oh, that's a Rudy. Oh, that's, you just see whose tattoos they were. You just see, you go like, oh, that's so.
Well, even with that, black and grey realism, Brano, Jack Rudy, like they're the pioneers of it.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, with like realism, which is probably one of the biggest movements in the world, it's kind of like the go-to, and I do get it, but if you got 10 of Australia's best realism artists together and got them all to do a pocket watch, for example, stood them 2 meters away, you wouldn't be able to tell who did it. Yeah. There's a few people that do have an artistic style where it does stand out, but the rest of it could be just done by a big Xerox machine, and there's no soul, there's no artistic voice. Where you could see that Trevor's is because of that. Paul's is because of that.
It's quite sad. I think it's sad.
Yeah, it's gone from maybe a knockabout blue collar industry and clientele base. We're moving into like the mainstream corporate white collar style, which is great for the art, but as people like ourselves that have a deeper understanding and love of it, it is sad.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about yourself. You've come through the ranks, you've done all the hard work, and
loved it.
And and to be quite honest, you're in my eyes, one of the old school that is still, when to me, you were a kid when you really,
I still think I'm a kid.
That kind of run, and but you still got the old school values, and you still love your work. You still believe in what you do. You hit the big lines, get the ink in there, and do the job. And you design the piece, you work on the first line, you'll sit there and do the hour. I used to admire that, Brano, just drawing. Greg James, just drawing, they'd measure somebody up, and then they'd do the piece, and they'd put it on, and that's not good enough. I different times Brano put in the stencil on 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
He just wasn't where he wanted it.
Yep.
No, it's not, Take it off, and he'd clean it off, and he'd put it back on. All right, sweet, we'll go there,
The crazy thing is now it's some artists, it's just for the photo, and you can see that it's maybe a little bit off, but
see, like Greg, Brano, and as I was leading to with yourself, you're the only person in the last 20 years that I've allowed to tattoo myself or my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm pretty stringent with
Yeah, it's nothing I've ever taken lightly. It's a huge honour.
You know,
You
that
know.
if people say to me, "Oh, I want to get a tattoo," you know, I've sent
Yep.
them from Queensland down here.
Yep.
Well, if you want to get a tattoo, you got to go to Sydney.
Yep.
If
Yep.
you don't want to go to Sydney, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's not because I don't know people up there,
Yeah.
but my trust and respect factor.
Yep.
Because a tattoo's a big deal. A lot of people get tattoos and don't understand what they're getting.
Yep.
You know, I actually laugh about people who just want coverage.
Yeah.
That's not a tattoo. You
Yeah.
know, just go and put a bodysuit on. You know, go buy them sleeves now. They look like tattoos. You know,
Well, it's all pretty much like life in general's been diluted. So you can, you know, I've worked in Thailand, so I can't say too much, but you can go to Thailand, go to Bali,
yeah,
get your stuff done, get tranked up to the eyeballs, get lathered in numbing cream, but might look cool, but then what do you got from it? Yeah, I went to Bali and got fucking off my head
yeah.
and got covered. Don't even know who did it. Wayan and Wayan did it. That's it.
Wow.
You know,
And G'day went past and said G'day.
you got it. You got
Yeah.
it. So,
Every one of my tattoos
Yep.
is significant.
Yep.
Every single tattoo I own has got a story to it.
Yep.
Every one of those people with art, because I collected artists.
yes. Yep.
I knew what I wanted, but I collected the artist.
Yep.
You know, and if I didn't have a rapport with that artist, if I didn't have a respect
Yep.
and some sort of belief that he loved the art
Yep.
of tattooing, I didn't get the tattoo. And I'd knock back some pretty hot shots.
I imagine people will want to pick the skin of you.
Want a piece of skin. You know,
Yep.
it was getting to a point where I was running out of skin, and I was getting people who were starting to become a little bit arrogant.
Yep.
You know, I won't say one particular guy in LA, he actually had an attitude about it. And I said, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
You know, he was lucky I didn't punch him in the head. You know, if I was that sort of guy.
Yep.
You know, and I'm serious. He had a real attitude about it. You know, he's a rock star tattooist, and he thinks
Yep.
he's. You know, he said, "Why haven't you asked me?" I said, "Because you're not good enough."
And then it's your body.
Yeah, but you're not good enough. And I just, you know, I'm pretty blunt and tell the truth. Though. The spade's a spade. I don't care what colour you paint it. The spade's a spade, you know.
Yeah.
And quoting Breno, you can't polish it.
Yeah, that was always an amazing one.
You can't polish it turd.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you polish it.
Yeah.
I remember my daughter came back from America, Raven,
Yeah.
and while I was away at the meditation camp for the
Yep.
8 years,
Yeah.
and some ass wipe over there tattooed "No Fear," fearless.
Yep.
Down her hips, and it starts that big, it goes that big.
Yeah.
It's like all I wanted to do was look at her tits. It was some
Yeah.
borderline pedophile backyard tattooist.
Yeah.
Got a 16-year-old kid drunk, 14-year-old kid drunk, and tattooed her side. Lucky was the America, like in America, not Australia, because he would have been tattooed. Yeah,
Yep.
he would have been tattooed with "I'm sorry"
Yep.
with a machete. But anyway, yeah. So she comes down to Australia, and
Yeah.
I'm in jail, and I send her over to Breno to Robin's going to laser it.
Yep.
And Breno. I ring him up. I'm in jail.
Yep.
"Hello, mate. She's there. Can we do any of this?" "Can't fucking polish a turd, mate."
Yeah. Raven's down crying.
He did.
Send me to this guy.
Yeah, you can't fucking polish it. Because the old Raven since she was born.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, "You can't polish a turd."
Yeah.
She's crying, and Haley and Brooke are with her big sisters, and Robert's like, "Lay down, darling, get a laser. We're getting the laser onto this thing. Ready?" She still hasn't got it finished. She's still got to, I keep saying, "I'm going down to see Reese Bell finish."
Yeah.
No, she will eventually. God love her, but yeah. I just remember I could hear her crying. I thought, "You arsehole, Fred." Yeah. Can't fucking polish a turd.
Mate, I remember getting tattooed by him, holding Paul in such high regard. And then when I came back from all my travels, I didn't know where I was going to land. I got offered a job in Melbourne at Vic Market with a guy called Colin Gower. And I'd grown up in Melbourne and thought, still got the travel bug. My parents are in Queensland. And then Paul offered me a job of like part-time fill-in spots.
Yep.
I'm like, that's the one. Because I never ever thought I would ever be good enough to work there. And then finally got my foot in the door, and, it was like a big turning point in my career that set me on the path to Sydney and to here today.
He was a good operator. His shop was clean. It was always modern.
Yep.
Had the best gear, the best autoclave, the best place. Always had good quality, and his workmanship was there. And Tony was so up and coming at the time.
Yep.
He was just out of
Well, still, Tony's still there, but I was looking at some of his stuff the other day. He's just adapted to the modern way of tattooing now,
Is he?
and he's doing everything as good as he has ever done. And I think about that as Paul as well. If he was here today, he'd have an iPad. He'd be using the latest machines,
Yeah.
the latest needles. He'd be trying everything, and he'd still be at the top of the game.
That's Chris Cashmore.
Yep.
Now, Chris and I are friends. He's never tattooed me.
Yep.
We're friends. We're friends. You know, I like Chris.
Yep.
And I nearly opened a studio with him
Wow.
many years ago. I remember when he worked up at the Cross.
Yep.
He was working up at Tony's.
Or Max and P.
With Max's. And he was, you know, he was flip-flopping. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. You know, we nearly opened a studio together.
Yep.
We nearly opened a studio together. You know,
Yeah.
I just like, look, I just
Totally. For me, like a tattoo shop is the best place on earth.
Yeah.
And like, if you've got a great day with good customers, good artists, good music, everyone's having a good time, you can't go out to the nightclub that night and have a better day than you had at work.
And yeah, it's creative. It's I believe it's spiritual to me. Look, you know, I never got tattoos to be a tough guy.
Yeah.
No, I was born a tough guy. But I was brought up to be a hard, horrible, what they call a tough guy. You know what I mean? And that's not who I really was. That's who I tried to be.
Yeah.
But always knew that there was more to life, and to me, the spiritual part of my life became deep, and my tattoos become really significant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as a kid, you know, sure, you know, I got the Jesus on my back, that Jesus over there, you know, from Woodsy. Bob Wood's done that outline on my back, and I was using heroin at the time. It was so funny.
Yep.
And he was at Bankstown, that little lane there, and he'd do half the outline and say, "Oh, I'm going to go have a piss," you know, and I'd go down and have a shot of heroin, and I'd come back in, and by the end of the tattoo, you know, I was there,
Oh, I'm so tired.
oh, no, he knew Bobby was everything blood out of him.
Yep.
And he was fat.
Yep.
Bob was big Bob.
Yep.
That was big Bob, you know.
Yep.
And then we seen him, you and I seen him.
Yep.
We seen him at
I think there's a photo of you at the Sydney Tattoo Show with
Tattoo Show 30, 40 years later.
Yeah.
And Skinny Bob was there. And I took my photo. Remember, we took a photo of me back with Bob. I know that photo. I cherish that photo.
Yep.
And, you know, and that's, you know, that tattoo's done on my back, just the outline for over 19 years. And people used to call it Cape Fear. Remember that Robert De Niro show?
Yes.
They say to me, every time they, you know, I was super fit. So, you know, and I'd come out of prison, and I'd go down to the beach, and then they'd almost just go, "Here comes Cape Fear," you know, here comes Cape Fear. And that's why I wanted to get it coloured, because for years I was walking around that outline, you know, it's like, but yeah, you know, like memories like that. That's 1974.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of months ago.
Yeah, well, I was born 73.
Yeah. A
couple of days ago.
I'd been tattooed before that.
Yeah.
Because I got my first tattoo was off Tex in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Danny Robinson, but I was too scared because everybody knew, because Danny worked in Williamstown, and that's where the painters and doctors work. And my old man told me if I ever got a tattoo, he'd cut it off.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not hard to see what I was doing. I was rebelling against somebody, you know, when that's what. But I love tattoos. You know, I've loved tattoos since I was a little. My uncle had them.
Yep.
He had he was a boxer. He had a fighter on his arm, the old fighter. He had that on one arm, and he had something on the other arm. And he was a carnival man. He went around he fought in the tents all around Australia.
Yep.
I used to always remind me, saying to me, if you get a tattoo, I'll cut the fucking thing off. Two things he had was tattoos and junkies.
Yep.
And I seem to fit into both of those categories. You know, I became a heroin addict with a full bodysuit. I got the full bodysuit after the heroin.
Well, that's the extremes. You know, extremes in life. We were talking about that before. Like, you know, I think I said to you, you know, I'm an addict as well.
Oh, 100%.
You know, in denial, but I am.
But I've done that also. Ever since I've known you, know, you're just obsessive, compulsive with everything you do. It's really funny. That's what I loved about you too, you know, like, you know, over the years that we've known each other, you know, it's like, mate, I've got this car, I've got this, mate, I've got this bike, really do this, you know.
Yeah.
And this, and what you've done here, I love that study. This is the best tattoo shop in the world.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
And mate, I've seen a couple.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean,
this is the best tattoo shop in the world. And I've been watching it grow.
Yep.
It's been like really magnificent to watch it grow.
Yeah.
And it's like everything else. the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah. True. And for me, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. This studio,
Yeah.
like say this building got demolished, that'd probably be the end of
Yeah.
Little Tokyo
Little
because I
Tokyo.
could never replicate it again. And it's got a life of its own now. I'm just trying to guide it and
Yeah.
keep investing in it. Opportunity comes, take the opportunity, and like you said, the harder you work, the luckier it comes.
This is where I believe in a higher power.
Yep.
A greater spirit.
Yep.
See, I believe that you're given the
Yep.
gift
Yep.
of being an artist.
Yep.
And sure, you've refined it, you've worked hard to improve it. I also believe you're given the gift of having this building as the opportunity to come up.
Yep.
Then you've been given the gift of these things that are working. So I believe, this is me,
Yep.
that if you do good things come back to you. And if your motivation and intention is pure and honest,
Yep.
you'll always be rewarded
Yep.
tenfold.
Yep.
I'm a big believer that everything I have today has been a direct result
Yep.
of me helping somebody else.
Yep.
Everything I own,
Yep.
like you've tattooed my wife. I get to admire that tattoo every single day. There's not one day I look at my wife's tattoos and think, oh, I wish she'd.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, I don't even know if I've told B this. Do you remember the old drawing of the girl in the bath?
Yes. Yep. With all the foam.
Well,
Yep.
that's been my dream tattoo my whole life.
Yeah.
A woman to have. I never told her that.
Yeah. There you go.
And she said to me, and that's only a drawing. That's not even
Yep.
a real person. That's
Yep.
a drawing, that tattoo.
Yep. That's right. I think the famous Japanese guy.
Is that
Yeah.
famous Japanese
Yep.
guy drew it? Well, for 30 years, that's always been my. So V was 3.
Yep.
And that was.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Now, that drawing's always been my fantasy of my perfect woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when V said to me, I want a koi, I was like,
Yep. Yep.
don't say nothing. And then she got the
Manifestation.
manifestation.
Yeah.
And the koi's there, and it was on an Asian girl.
Yep.
It was this
Yep.
beautiful woman
Yep.
with this incredible waist,
Yep.
this beautiful tattoo.
Yep.
And now I get to see that tattoo,
Yep. Done at Little Tokyo.
I've done a little tattoo.
Yeah.
And then my daughters all have that date tattooed
Yep.
on their wrist.
Yep.
Yeah, that date when I come home.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So, people think, tattoos is this, tattoos. No, tattoos are deep.
Yeah. 100%. And even if like the image may not look deep to the viewer,
Yeah.
it's still deep. Even if they can't understand it, for us, it takes us back to a period of time. There's so many multi-dimensional connections to it all.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said to you, my friendship with you is a direct result of
Yes.
tattooing. My friend Rick James is a direct result of tattooing,
Yeah.
Browno, Trev Mix. And I've seen Trev Mixdale when you were, no, V and I went down to see him.
Yes.
We went down to see him. V and I went down to see him when I first started dating. V and I went and see him, and
Yep.
he was like, oh, there you go, mate.
Yeah.
What are you up to? And I said, no, home, everything's good,
Yeah.
No shifty shit. And he's like, oh, yeah, look at it. But they're connections that you make.
Yep.
Through the tattoo industry.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's like everyone.
Well, community then.
Exactly.
Now it's an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I tease people, I say, before when I got tattoos, it was like, fuck off, I'll kill you. Now it's like, jump on my BMX and I'll read you a poem. And that's just my sarcastic.
Yeah. Well, you got the humor, the banter, like it's the best.
But you know what the reality is? I love seeing people out there with.
Yeah.
I do. I do. I love it. And some people say, I only got a hot dog. Well, so what?
Yep.
So what?
Yeah. We're in an era of accepting self-expression. So, but tattooing is another form of self-expression, whether it be sexuality, hairstyle, whatever. Tattooing is still self-expression.
I wear a lot of jewelry.
Yeah.
I design jewelry. That's my job. I've been at it for 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop designing the jewelry the way I want to design it.
No.
I won't design it like Cartier or anybody else. I design my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my style to suit.
Yeah. Well, funny, I was saying to someone the other day, the way I view my tattooing now at this stage in my career, I'm trying to tattoo how I would want to be tattooed.
Exactly. Everything I make is if would I buy it.
Yeah.
Because I've got a theory.
Yeah.
I can't be the stupidest man in the world. There must be one more as stupid as me. There's got to be someone as stupid as me.
Well, one's born every minute, supposedly.
Someone's going to be as stupid as me. If I think it's cool, somebody else might think it's cool.
Yeah.
And so far, it's served me pretty well. You know,
Yeah.
I've an incredible life.
Yeah, you've led like multiple lives in one, Ron, and still living them. And I think there's still more to come, more to evolve.
We're just starting.
Yeah.
I'm 68 years of age.
Yeah.
The definition of insanity is making the same mistake and expecting different results.
Yeah.
You know? And in my program, because I run a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, in my program, I teach people that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You're not failing. You're not failing. You're learning. As long as we keep learning by our mistakes, they're not failures, they're lessons.
Yep.
And we're here to learn, you know. As I said, in my age today, I love learning. I love getting taught something. And I get taught something every day. Every day I try to learn something, you know. It sounds crazy, but my books gets released this year. I'm gonna have a book launch here in probably September.
Yeah, amazing.
This year. We're having it in Melbourne first. We'll do a presentation.
So what are you doing now with your life, Ron? You're doing the drug and alcohol rehabilitation,
I'm doing the drug and
counselling, or
counseling.
yeah,
I call it a transformation coach.
yeah.
So
Because you're not your typical stereotypical counsellor or psychologist where people would instantly feel a barrier between them. Maybe they're being judged, or it's some fuddy-duddy in an office in a suit. Yeah, but you're relatable, and you know you don't hide your life. So I think it gives people some sort of confidence, or like
what I teach is the drugs are not your problem.
yeah,
The drugs you think are the solution to your problem. Your problem is your thinking. You have a thinking problem, not a drinking problem.
yeah,
I say it all the time. You got a heart of gold and a head of spaghetti.
Yep.
What we need to do is unravel the spaghetti so we can contact it to your heart.
Yep.
Because the disease lives in your brain. It's not just all addicts. The whole world has a thinking problem. We think that if we have more money, life will be better.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson said it the best I've ever heard. He said, if you think money can make you happy, you've never had money.
yeah.
And I say to people, they go, why? And I say, in 2001, I was laying in a multi-million-dollar mansion with my yachts, with my boat outside, my cars, and all this, and the beautiful wife, the beautiful child. It was Boxing Day, 2001, the true story, and I was laying there thinking, I hope I don't wake up. I hope I don't wake up tomorrow morning. I was in such a depression. I was in the middle of doing a crime. I was in the middle of setting up a massive crime, and I got arrested for it, and I went back to prison. And I'm not a victim. I don't tend to be a victim. It's like, you can't do the time, don't do the crime. And I went back to prison, and I soul searched myself. I really had a good look at who Ron really was and who Ron really wanted to be. Who Ron really was not who I was being.
Yep.
So I started transforming myself. That's why I call myself a transformation coach.
Yep.
And I hadn't taken drugs for 16 years at that time.
Yeah, right.
So it wasn't a fucking drug problem. It was a wrong problem.
Yep.
So I had to transform my thinking and work out why I was never satisfied. Because my old company used to be called Next.
Yep.
If your company's called Next, that means you're not happy with what you have today.
You're always after the next.
Always on to next. That was my company, you know. Now my company's called The Truth.
Yes.
The truth is that I have enough. I have an abundance. And today I have gratitude. I have gratitude for the life I've lived.
Yep.
And, you know, it mightn't be the life that you want to live, but I didn't want to live your life. You know, we're like, I look at people judge me, and I say to them, you know, I'm not a big carer about what people think.
Yeah. Yep.
I say, you know, for all you people that judge me, please pray for me so I can be perfect like you.
Yep.
You know, and when I say that, people usually put their heads down.
Yeah.
Because if you were perfect, you wouldn't be judging. You know, and I say that all the time. You know?
And it's pretty easy in society these days to do that.
Yeah,
We're almost programmed to do it.
Yeah, and it's sad because our society has got to a point now where we need to rethink our belief systems and understand that there's no black, white, yellow, green. We're all human beings, male or female.
All from Earth.
All from Earth. We're human beings.
Yeah.
And I say the difference between me today and me when I was taking drugs, I was a human taking.
Yep.
Now I'm a human being. And the good thing about being a human being is you have empathy, compassion. You have love and understanding and kindness. But don't get me wrong, every human being's got bad in them. I don't care what anyone tells you.
Yep.
Every single human being has laid in bed at some stage of their life thought, I'd like to kill that arsehole.
Yep.
or I could run over her, or
Yep.
she's pissed me off, or he's pissed me off, or whatever, you know.
Yep.
I'm not
It's a natural human emotion.
exactly. The difference between most people is that when they feel that, they don't act out on it. Some people do, some people don't. But what we do is we judge other people so that we feel better about ourselves. When we stop judging ourselves, we stop judging others. That's what I found for me.
Yep.
Once I stopped judging others, I stopped judging myself. Once I started accepting others, I started accepting myself. And when I started loving others, I started loving myself. It was really nice, and it's vice versa as well. I love myself. Now I can love my wife.
Yep.
My wife's not afraid of me. What a wonderful thing, come from where I came from to have a relationship with another human being who trusts me.
Yep.
If I go overseas, my wife's not worried about me playing up. She's not worried about me doing a cry. She's not worried about me doing anything. If she goes overseas, I'm not worried about her. There's none of that's relevant anymore because we have this thing called trust. And I think the greatest gift you can have in life is respect and trust.
As simple as it sounds, not everyone gets there.
And that's their choice.
Yeah. Yes.
I believe we're
Yep.
capable of getting there.
For sure.
And I believe it's just a matter of choices. And I think that once we take responsibility for whatever it is, and I always say, I'm not a victim. I've never been a victim. No one's ever heard me whinge about, we fail, this, that.
Yeah.
You can't do the time, don't do the crime. If you want to cheat on your wife and you get caught, don't whinge to me about it. I have a real funny philosophy with cheating. I'll touch on this quickly. If somebody cheats on their missus, it's going to sound really funny because I used to be a cheater.
Yep.
I've never gone into business with them.
Yep. Yeah. Makes sense.
They're cheating on the person they're laying with. Why are they going to cheat on me? Why are they going to cheat on me?
Yeah.
Why are they going to rob me?
Yep.
If they're robbing their partner, of course they're going to rob me.
Yeah.
So if I know, guys want to, we always think it's a macho thing. I got this good sort. Well, to me, it's telling me you're a liar, a thief, and a cheat. And I don't want you. I don't want you in my life.
Yep.
Because I don't want liar, thieves, and cheats in my life.
Yep.
I had one live in my head for 30 years, 40 years. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I say, that's when I treat people. When I say to them, would you let a liar, thief, and a cheat live in your house? They go, no. I say, why do you let one live in your head?
True.
That liar, thief tells you in your head, you're not good enough.
Yep.
I know for addicts, most addicts have a period in their life where their head tells them, you're better off killing yourself.
Yep.
I think normal people get the same thing. People call it depression. I can't cope with this.
Well, yeah, when life gets too much, it seems like I've been there through an illness. I thought, you know what, bad news, maybe I'm just going to check out.
Yeah.
I had my whole plan, everything.
That's your brain.
Yeah.
So it's sad when our own brain turns on us.
Yep.
A lot of famous psychiatrists around the world and, I'm going to mention these guys that do this for a living. They get, one of them just gave me the Dr. Dispenza, or whatever his name is, Joe Dispenza. He just did a seminar the other day about the conscious mind and the thinking that. He made $4 million in a 7-day seminar. He's thinking well. And, but, it's the truth, but the brain does turn on. The human race, our biggest enemy is our brain.
Yep.
They talk about this artificial intelligence. I know nothing about it. I'm worried about my intelligence. I can't control my intelligence. How am I going to contract it? All I know about anything that's artificial, and I'm going to finish on this, right? So when I used to use speed, when it was made from ephedrine, it never drove me crazy like the shit that these kids are using made in pseudoephedrine, which is a synthetic.
Yep.
The ice that they're using today is driving kids crazy, man. That's really bad shit. That's the devil's drug. Don't worry about it. If there's a God and there's a devil, I don't down the road. But whatever's good and evil, that is the epitome of evil. Because I treat kids on ice, and it's disgusting.
Yep.
What it's doing to human beings is disgusting. I don't think there's any such thing as a good drug. But I don't judge anyone who takes it.
Yeah.
I'm not a judge. I'm here to try to help people. My job is to carry a message, say you can get off if you want to. If you want to, I can show you. But I'll show you where to dig, and I'll show you where the shovel is, but you have to pick up the shovel and dig it. I can't do anything else, and that's the beauty of living my life. I am a lived experience person. I don't talk textbook and, so many chromosomes are killed and you got this neuropath. I don't give a rat's ass about that.
That's the one, because that's where you're related. We've had many chats over the years and many more to come. But you're relatable, you're compassionate, you have empathy. Most of all, we have the wisdom, Ron, and the knowledge. And I'm sure in your counseling sessions or transformation sessions, you're continually adjusting to that person
100%.
because not every addict is the same.
Everyone is different.
Everyone comes from a different place of trauma or whatever you want to
Yeah.
you call it. And
Yeah.
you've got the life experience and the skill to like adjusting an equalizer on a sound system.
Love things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I have clients. I say to them,
I imagine a lot would be looking for the fluff.
yeah, and they don't get it.
Yeah.
'Cause most of them, I'm expensive.
Yeah.
Not really. You know, I'm a good weekend on the coach.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
real good week on the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I say,
If you want the transformation, that's
yeah, and I'm not going to. You know, I've said to them, I say,
yeah.
I'll work out how many days you got left, and I'll send you back your money. Piss off.
Yeah.
And they go, what?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I say, no, mate. If you think I do this for money, you've rang the wrong number.
Yeah.
Now, this is not what this is about. This is about trying to help you save your life. And if you don't want to save your life, get the hell out of my way so I can help someone who wants to save their life. Because I only treat 4 people at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've got a wife, I've got children,
Yep.
you know, I've got other.
Yeah. You spread thin. I really like at the moment what you're doing on your channel with the what is it like the client testimonials.
Yes, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes it very even more relatable to people maybe outside of that world that are maybe even just on the edge looking in, thinking, you know, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Where can I go? Where can I?
We get so much traction from our podcast.
Yep.
Where I get people just come up to me out of nowhere and say, oh man, I watch your podcast. They've helped me so much.
Yeah.
You know, I had a woman contact me on Instagram. She said to me, I was coming off 120 milligrams of methadone. And I live in rural New South Wales, and I was ready to throw the towel in. I listened to your podcast, and I've got through it.
Yep.
It makes it all worthwhile, you know. But, we get stuff every day. We get some sort of feedback from clients saying, and future clients,
Yep.
saying, "Oh man, you know, this is so good. Please, you know, keep doing your podcast." And our podcasts are, we don't have ads. We don't get it for money. There's no financial gain to me, you know.
Yep.
They actually cost us money and cost us a lot of time to do them.
Yep.
We love them.
Yep.
Because it's helping people.
Yep.
And I still say it, the reward I get, like I went to Melbourne on Saturday to present an 18-year-old boy.
Yep.
His jumper because he's playing his first AFL game. 1 year ago, he's 6'2", he weighed 40 kilos. He'd been on ice for 4 years. And his mum and dad had written him off. They thought he was going to die.
How? I can't even speak right now, but kind of understandable in a way. They're at their wits' end.
Yeah.
What can they do? They're not trained for this. They don't know how to do it. How heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But then I imagine that's where you've come along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the last stop.
Yeah. Yep.
On the last stop. When
Last chance, so to speak.
you get to me, you've tried everything else.
Yeah.
You've been to the psychologist, you've been to the rehabs, you've been to the kiss me bow and they give me 30 grand for 30 days, and you can do yoga over that corn, and you can have a sweet bar. We got the chef, he's just whipping you up a little latte and something else. We're going to
How would you like your omelette sport?
exactly. What would you like in your omelette this morning? I'm not that guy. I'm like, do what I tell you. You're writing to certain things. You're learning about your mind. I teach you a lot about the mind. See, I work off 8 demands. Openness.
Yep.
To stay where you stand, but don't stand your ground. So you tell everybody how you feel. Acceptance, accept that other people can see you better than you can see yourself. You know, it's a really important thing. Reliability.
Yep.
Say what you do and do what you say. You know, congruence. Don't ask somebody to do something if you're not prepared to do it yourself. Yep. Thoroughness. If you're going to clean this room, start at the ceiling. Work your way down. Clean your way down. Cut corners. No. Consistency. Start the day at 5 miles an hour. You finish the day at 5 miles an hour. Respect. In giving respect, you get respect. You can't take respect. You can't stand over people for respect. You can't buy it. Respect has to be earned. And the last one is honesty. And this means don't add bits on so it sounds better, and don't leave bits off so it doesn't sound as bad. And then after there 8 demands, we have down the bottom action. You take the I out of the middle and you put it in front of it. So I act on these demands because it's an action program. My program is about doing the job.
Yep.
So when you wake up in the morning and your brain says to you, oh, I want to get stoned. You say to your brain, yeah, fucking oath I do. But if I do, I lose my wife and children. But if I do, I lose my... So I never say to anybody, you can't use drugs.
Yep.
I say, you can't use a chemical and have a good life.
Yes.
You can use chemicals,
Your choice.
but you have to have the consequences, you know? And people say to me, I hate heroin. I say, seriously? So for the last 10 years, you've been injecting heroin into your veins every day and you hate it. Yeah, so that's just a lie. You love heroin. And I say, I love it.
Yep.
I robbed banks for it.
Yep.
I escaped from prison for it. You told me I didn't love it? I said, "Mate, I gave my whole life to it.
Yep.
I loved it. But I hated the things I had to do.
Yep.
The first time you came, when I used it.
Yep.
And that's the truth. You have to come to the terms of the fact that you actually hate it.
Yep.
Bullshit. You actually love it, but you hate the consequences. Now, the trick is here that you've got to come to the belief and the understanding is you can't have the drug without the consequence. So that way it doesn't feel so bad. It's like, okay, it's not being taken off me. Now I have free will.
Yep.
I have a choice. I choose not to take it because I don't want the consequences. And I find I get so much more people that get clean, stay clean, and remain clean for long periods of time when they understand it's their choice.
Yep.
They are now responsible. I say you're not responsible for your addiction, but you're responsible for your recovery. And to me, recovery just means being a better version of what you were yesterday. If I can be a better guy today than what I was yesterday, I'm moving forward.
Yeah, you've done well.
I mean, the only person I'm in competition with is me.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not in competition with you or
Yep.
Joe Blow down the road or
Yep.
what you think of me is none of my business.
Yep. Yep.
What I think of you should come from a place of love and kindness. Even if I don't like you.
Yep.
Even if I don't like you, because resentment is drinking poison hoping you die.
Yep.
Waste of time. You know? It's just getting old is really nice
Yep.
because you start to understand all the cliches. You start to really understand what they mean and how much freedom. See, I spent over 15 years in prison. Over 15. I don't even want to count. I had mates who've done longer, a lot longer.
Yep.
They say to me, how many years you done in prison? I say, I don't know, mate. I've never sat down and counted. Over 15 years. And the last time I was in prison, because I was working my program and I was so in tune with myself and I was helping so many people in jail trying to get off drugs, I was as free in there as I ever have been.
Yep.
So it taught me that the freedom was from within, not from the walls outside, you know. You can't fix the problem that's inside me by bringing stuff outside of me to fix it. It has to come from within, you know, and that comes from, I call it a spiritual awakening.
Yep.
And spirits just love empathy, compassion, understanding of myself and other people. And, you know, I honestly think that I'm at the prime of my life.
Yep. Yep.
Because I understand me. For the first time in 68 years, I can say, I have enough.
Yep.
I'm fully content. I don't want that other car down the road. I don't want that other girlfriend.
Yep.
I don't need, I don't need anything anymore. I'm not against material things. I love material things. But they don't dictate whether I feel good or bad.
Yeah.
Today I'm driving a Toyota Corolla Rent car. It got me here the same as my Mercedes would have got me here.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, I've just got rid of a S-Class Mercedes, top of the range, S63, beautiful motor car.
Yep.
I
Didn't make you happier.
I didn't like it. It's the top of the range Benz. It's like, oh, that's the top class S-Class Benz, convertible, matte grey. It was a beautiful car. We sold it, you know. I'm going to put a new Corvette.
Yes.
Because I'm a Corvette sort of guy, you know.
Yep.
You know, you can't take the street kid out of the street.
Yeah, of course.
You know. And I don't want to pretend to be, and I say it all the time, I don't pretend to be a guru. I just want to be me. And if they can help people, that's wonderful.
You are, man. You're, you know, a man of the street, but now you're a man of life experience and wisdom and helping. And like me, I'm 49 now, I'm 50 this year. I've been through some stuff over the years and I'm in a point now where there's some soul searching to be done and I'm excited for it because I can see whether that's, you know, working through previous trauma or whatever, and I can see the other side and I know I'm going to learn from it and be a better person.
And you can always just ring me and we'll talk through it.
Yeah. Yep. We will do a dinner.
Yeah, you know, it's simple. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And I say that most of my friends talk to me and because they know that one thing, I have no judgment.
Yep.
Second thing, I have no memory. I'm like a goldfish.
Yeah.
And that's my choice.
Yep.
I've had it all my life.
Yeah.
That's just the police got me. I don't remember nothing.
Yep.
You know. So I've always had this lack of memory.
Yeah.
So you know, I've been, mate. It's insane to say this. You know, with my life that I lived.
Yeah.
I think I've been blessed.
100%.
You know, I really do. I think I've been blessed. I've had the most incredible life.
Yeah.
I have a friend who spent 24 years in Thai prison.
Wow.
And he says to me all the time, he said, "You live the life of a rock star without the shit music."
Yeah.
And he says it to me all the time. That's his little joke. He says,
Yeah.
he goes, "Mate," because he's read my book,
Yeah.
and he said to me, "Mate, that's so censored."
Yeah.
I said, "Of course."
Yeah.
I said, "I can't write down a lot of stuff that was in that book." Then he always says to me, "You're the only guy I know that lived the life of a rock star without the shit music."
Yeah. Yeah.
Today is the thing that's important to me because yesterday's gone. And today I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful relationship with myself. I have good friends, quality friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not that guy. I have a lot of associates. When I opened Facebook, when I first came home, no, all that came out. You got to remember, none of that was around when I went away. I came home next to this Facebook, Instagram, and now they give me this iPhone. I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And all night it went beep, 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 beep. I didn't know how to turn it off.
Yep.
There's all friend requests coming. There's all people all around the world.
Yep.
I've gone on Facebook. All of a sudden, it's like,
Yep.
beep, beep, I'm getting friend requests. I didn't even know what they were. So, I had 5,000 friends, and we shut it down. I said to Ver, I can't do this.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Yep.
I can't do it. I just couldn't do it. I shut it down. I closed it down. Now we've opened a new one for our company. But I just couldn't do it. It was just like, it's too much. It's too much. I just come from a place where I spent 8 years and in isolation because I didn't want maximum security. And I just found the world to become so false, so materialistically bullshit. Look at my wonderful life. They're standing in front of someone else's car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just stand at the front of my Lambo. Then they're catching the bus home.
Yep.
Like it's this facade of and I think it's a sign of our future that if we don't get honest,
Fortunately, yeah.
and we don't start taking responsibility for who we are and what we are,
Yep.
and accepting that we are enough, I really am fearful for my kids and
Yep.
The future generations. Brian, actually, it's funny. I was fearful. The last couple of years, I feel there's a movement in the world. I think we have a movement in the world where people are starting to realize that
From this big shake-up, there's definitely, it's gone crazy. Never go back to what it was. It'll be find some middle ground, but new ground. And people are going to say, no way.
Yeah.
That's enough.
the social media is a wonderful tool used properly. Used properly.
It's not a life. Yeah.
I see people, whole family sitting down and no one's talking.
Yeah.
I was on their phone.
Yeah.
Our kids, we say, phones off.
Yep.
That's it. My little boy used to react. Now he's not reacting too bad because he's got to a point now where he understands it. Us going out the pool is a lot more fun than just a silly iPad.
For sure.
And we get out there and we play for an hour and he's laughing and joking and but I'm privileged to come and talk to you. I actually thought I was coming to talk to you about stuff, but this is cool. We've had a good chat.
At round two at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with all of that, Ron, like this was totally off the cuff. No real plan. Hey, what are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. But I know you've just come back from New Zealand.
Yep.
And the truth about addiction is your Instagram page.
Instagram page in my business, yep.
And you've got a book coming out, which will no doubt lead to other things.
It's called Born into the Lie of Crime.
Yeah.
It says life. It's L-I-F-E, and it's the L-I and the E in big bold letters, and the F's really small with a cross through it.
Yep.
It's supposed to be Born into the Life of Crime. It's Born into the Lie of Crime.
Yep.
And it's a really good book. I tell you why it's a really good book, the honest truth.
Yep.
And it's going to be really controversial.
Yep.
Because I'm talking about some of the biggest gangsters in Australia being shitmen.
Yep.
Telling the truth about who they really were, Because I know who they were, because I was laying on the ground beside them and being shot at.
Yep.
And they were cowards.
Yep.
And other ones that were like, I'm talking about some of the biggest names in Australian crime in Melbourne.
Yep.
Like the godfathers of the bullshit.
Yep.
I had one that laid on the ground and shot into the ground and didn't even shoot at the car that was shooting at us. Then I had another one robbed the bank that I set up for him while I was in prison, and he ripped me off, didn't pay me. They're just really shit class actions from the godfathers of crime.
Yep.
I wrote it really so that the young people that read it, anyone that reads it, realises that crime's not real.
Yep.
TV's not real.
Yep.
The Sopranos is not real. You know, please don't get tied up and think that this
Rap videos aren't real.
yeah, this gangster bullshit, you know. And I shoot a lot. I still shoot a lot. You know, I'm a very avid hunter, and I do a lot of target shooting and competition like that. You don't shoot a gun like
Oh,
God. You don't shoot a gun like that, you know. Um, yeah, and my book's about the truth. You know, and that's it. I called it first of all. I called it the truth about nothing,
yep,
and then I got a guy that's helped me rewrite it, John Kelly, the guy that escaped from jail in the helicopter. You
Yep.
know, all he's done is rewriting and putting the paragraphs and chapters. It's really my book. It still hasn't changed. He's spruced up a little bit
Yeah.
down there, which is really nice. Which I could have done, but it is the truth. It's a warts and all. It's not glorifying gangsterism at all. It's actually telling the truth.
And you're probably from what some may consider the golden era
Yeah.
of crime.
And I was born into it. We were in amongst the proper gangsters.
Yeah.
Then I went from being a gangster to a drug addict. Then I went from being a drug addict to a drug importer. You know, and I traveled the world. I've done most of the things that people think's cool. And I can tell you right now, what I'm doing today is gangster.
Yeah. Yep.
I put this on the table for my children.
Yep.
My wife's not afraid of me. My kids aren't afraid of me.
Yep.
I'm not afraid of the police coming to my home.
Yep.
Everything we own.
Yep.
You know, we don't harm people in any way, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. If I don't like you, I'll just walk away.
Yep.
You know, I'm not full of vengeance anymore, and my balls aren't bigger than your balls anymore. You know, that
Yep.
stuff there, you know, like, you know, you disrespected me, motherfucker. I'm going to put a cap in your ass.
Yep.
We never spoke like that. We were just like, you know, blow your head off, you fucking asshole. But, you know, all that bullshit is not real. And what is real, I've called gangster, being a good father, being a good husband, being a good friend,
Turning up, going to work, providing.
doing your job, you know, being a provider. And as I said to you, my concept of male has changed so much.
Yep.
That a male's allowed to cry.
Yeah. Yep.
A male's allowed to say some days, baby, I'm not coping with this.
Yep.
Sometimes work gets too hard, especially when you own your own business, you own your own company. You're allowed to say, honey, this is fucking hard work. And my wife says to me all the time, I'm so proud of you. You know? And that's, mate, that's massive for me. I never heard my father say to my mother, I love you.
Yep.
My whole life. I never heard my father say, I love you to anybody. That's sad when you think about it.
Yep.
You know? Never to hear your father say, I love you. You know, never to hear your father say, I'm proud of you. The only time my old man was proud of me was when I told him where there was safe for so he could go and cut it. You know, it's sad. You know, my children don't grow up like that. All my kids have gone to private schools. All my
Yep.
kids have gone to good schooling. I'm extremely proud of my oldest kids. You know them.
Yep.
You know, they've done so well. Haley gets married a couple of months. You know, Brookie's, you know, good. She's a really good human being. You know, Raven's doing wonderful things. You know, all my kids are just, there's pleasures. And that's got to be a reflection of me.
For sure.
I always say you can judge a person by the way his children treat him.
Yep.
You know, I hate my father.
Yes.
My only regret when my father died, I was in prison.
Yep.
And they never let me go to his funeral just to make sure he was dead. That's sad. That's sad.
Yep.
That's really sad when that's,
Yep.
that is the honest truth.
Yep.
The only reason I would have went there, I would have wanted to go there and make sure that he was dead, you know, and say, yeah, right whack. I'm sorry it wasn't 30 years earlier. You know. But yeah, but on a positive note, mate, it's been a pleasure to come down and hang out and have a chat. We'll still run this through our company and we'll run it through the.
Yeah, we'll do the cost thing. It'll be great. At the Sydney Tattoo Convention, like Ron, I'd love you to come down. Freddie's going to be there.
That's right. Yeah.
We said we'd try and get Greg over.
Yeah. I'll get on to Greg and try to get him.
And maybe we can get you. I know you've got a bad thing about being a judge before. You're a man of wisdom and everything now. Maybe you can judge.
Those days I was actually in the categories. You know, I left it competing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be judging against guys I was competing against.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit unfair.
Or maybe only Ron can judge me.
Only Ron can judge. Yeah. No regrets. Regrets. I've still got to get that tattooed on me there, I think. No regrets.
Right. Yeah. So myself. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, buddy. Love you dearly.
Yeah, likewise.
And yeah, we'll do a part 2 where I'll talk to you about your obsessive compulsive behavior.
Yeah, it's real and it ain't slowing down.
I know that. I just think it's like a pimple on your ass. It just keeps growing.
I've actually surrendered to it. And I've just go of it.
And it's just going to keep going.
It's going to get bigger and bigger.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Anyone that's listening on this podcast, if you haven't been to Little Tokyo in Elizabeth Street, Sydney, get your ass down there and have a look at history and the future, because that's what this joint is. This is history, but it's also the future. I haven't seen a tattoo studio like this anywhere in the world. It's something else. It's something really, really, really special. And I'm really proud of you, mate. And,
no, it means a lot. Like for me now, tomorrow I've got Jeff Rhodes in. I'm kind of found I was a little bit trapped in the middle of, when I started tattooing, there were 4 kids my age tattooing.
Yeah.
When now I'm on 25, they've got like 200 people in Sydney tattooing together, and they're all connected. So I've always felt like I've been in a little bit of no man's land. Now I'm too old for the young crew. But I was just old enough and came through that era where the older guys, 10 years or more, would give me that respect.
Yep.
And then go from there. So yeah, for me, it's just give back and past, present, and future.
Yeah, no, I congratulate you, and I'm completely blown away. I love it, man. I love it. This is something like a dream. This is something like, if I had a shop.
Yeah. Well, this is me just creating my own reality.
And I've watched it. And I've watched it grow, I watched it from
Bondi Road.
I'm
at a little twice the size of this room.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's funny now, we've just had a new artist come down from up your way, the coast up in Queensland, and she's moved into that apartment now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah. All the stickers are still on the door and everything, and like said, oh, this is where it all began. And she's rapped. She's like, oh man, it's so cool.
It's beautiful.
All right, let's go get dinner.
Let's go.
Thank you, Ron. Love you, mate.
Love you, mate.
Awesome.